नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से हमारे YouTube चैनल ब्रास फ्यूजन्स पर, जहां आज हम आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं एक नया लेसन।
Last class, apart from the farmers bill, what all cases we have discussed so far?
Ma'am, nationality and citizenship and fundamental rights. Some fundamental rights to companies.
Yes, fundamental rights. Very good, very good. So we have so far, we have seen that now the company is a legal entity or an artificial entity that is created by the legislation, and the judiciary has contributed, started from the Solomon's case, where it established that the company is having an independent legal existence apart from its members. And now the question with regard to the citizen, whether the company is a citizen or not, the decision was that company is of course not a citizen, but however a company can enjoy the nationality. The difference between nationality and citizen, or national and what is the other one, citizen, that is one is domestic based, another is international scenario. So the nationality can be enjoyed by the company. Then also the fundamental rights, certain fundamental rights through the shareholders the company can enjoy, but it does not mean that where it specifically mentioned that it is available only to the citizens, that fundamental rights are not available to the company as well, right? Because fundamental rights are available to any person. So if it is any person is mentioned, then that will include even the company, because it is again the artificial person that is created by the law, or it has come into existence through the legal process. So hence it is accepted, but not for the other aspect. And also remember, I made a passing reference, okay, passing reference with regard to the RC Cooper case, which is also the famously known as the bank nationalization case, where it was a company, that is, even it is a banking company that is registered under the Companies Act. So even though the regulator is the RBI, banking regulation or the banks are also registered as the company. That is why it is terminology used is the banking company, right? So in this, the banks were registered company, and it is 14. The major decision was that 14 major nationalized commercial banks were nationalized on July 1969. So the petitioner, that is the RC Cooper, he was the shareholder. Then he moved the petition. He moved the petition before the court, honorable court, saying that there is a violation of the fundamental right. But the court said that a shareholder or a depositor or a director is not entitled to move the petition for the infringement of the rights of the company unless it is, action is infringed directly. So here it is through the state organ, or it is the state legislation. So somebody is, because even Keshavananda Bharati case also, the right to property was earlier your fundamental right. So through the legislation, if your right is taken, then you cannot challenge it. So in that capacity, you don't have the authority to challenge the violation of the fundamental right of the company. Then at this, because you have given up the shares at low to the banks. So when the government is acquiring it, they are paying the shareholders also the value. It's not that they are just acquiring it as such. They are fixing the value for taking it. So there is no violation of the fundamental right, and of course it is not a citizen. It is not considered as a citizen. So just a passing reference with regard to that case. So now let's discuss another case that is known as the Telco. It is Tata Engineering Company versus Associated Rubber Industry Limited. Let me try to share the screen. Is it visible? Is the case visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is the case which we are going to discuss. That is the Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company Limited versus State of Bihar. By any chance, you have discussed this case in your constitution class? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So actually, this is I have not highlighted the important parts, but I will explain you later on. I will highlight and then share with you. So in this case again the question was relating to the violation of fundamental rights. So these are the bunch of petitions. Okay, it's not that one single petition. It is actually the bunch of petitions that is filed under Article 32 of the Constitution, where it was stated that the sales tax officers of different areas are attempting to recover the sales tax in respect of the transactions which are not taxable under Article 286 of the Constitution. So Article 286, relating to the taxes and all, what is Article 286? Anybody having the Constitution legislation? Article 286. What is Article 286 of the Constitution? That means it
Restrictions as to imposition of tax on the sale or purchase of goods.
Yes. So it relates to the interstate sales, okay, and the levy of the taxes. So they said that there are many sales tax officers are attempting to recover the sales tax. And if you see in this scenario, now this decision coming to the GST has changed it. But earlier there were, sales tax from the states and from the center again different tax. So a lot of taxes were there, and that's why always the courts were filled. The majority now also if you just do some empirical survey in the pending cases before the court, you can see two type of cases which are in huge number. One is relating to the Negotiable Instruments Act, NI Act, check dishonor cases. Then after coming of the that Sarfasi Act relating to the bank recovery, that type of cases are numerous, because in one petition again several petitions, several IAs they'll be filing. Then if you go to take or recover the possession, there will be tenant. So there will be the tenant who will be filing the application saying that no, I am staying here, I have paid the rent and I have given an agreement. So like this, there will be several petitions that is going on. So it will take years. It will take years to settle, and sometimes it may not get settled also. And another bunch is this taxation cases. Huge number of taxes cases were filed. Sales tax difference, then agricultural tax has been levied. They're trying to encroach, and what they do till pending the petition, they will just get a note to recover. So that this type of interim orders will be taken from the court, and then it will continue. So in this case, what happened in the Tata Engineering case also similarly, these petitions were filed, and they said that that is sales tax, which is transactions are not taxable under as per section 286, but however the authorities are rejecting and they are taking the tax. So the main issue, or so it is what the Tata Engineering Company is a petitioner company registered under the Indian Companies Act. So remember that this is not 1956, as it is prior to that. That means during the British rule. So this were registered under the 1913 Act. So they were dealing in this diesel truck and bus chassis and spare parts accessories in Jamshedpur. So what they contended that there is sales were taken place within the state of Bihar. So intra-state sales were as such. So here they said that assessment authority is the Bihar sales tax. So whether there is so the question that is involved are two. One is, can a company, so here the telco has approached, okay, so who has filed the petition before the court? It is the telco. And also this was again, they have referred to the earlier case which we have discussed, where it was stated that the company is not a citizen, state trading corporation case, that was also referred here. So what they have, the two important question that came up for discussion is that whether a company can claim fundamental right under Article 19(1) subclause G. Article subclause 1 subclause G. That was the one issue. Then second question was whether they can invoke Article 32 subclause 1 to move the Supreme Court for violation of their fundamental right. And thirdly, whether this corporate wheel need to be lifted, because we have seen in the Salomon's case and all, the lifting of the company is standing apart from, or it is a strong kind of relationship that is having. So they have three issues. Majorly, there are three issues that has been addressed in this Tata Engineering case. Starting with the first, whether a company can claim fundamental right that is enshrined under Article 19 subclause 1 subclause G. Now, what does this article signifies? If you remember, it starts with the citizen, is it not? It refers, or it starts with the no citizen. I mean, it is the citizens who are entitled for Article 19 subclause 1 subclause G. So if we rely on the earlier decision of the Supreme Court that is relating to the state trading corporation case, it is finalized, or it was held that a company is not a citizen. And if since company is not a citizen, the question whether they can invoke the fundamental rights, it will not stand. Now, second is that whether the company can approach, or whether the company can invoke Article 32 to move before the Supreme Court for their fundamental rights. So we have seen that there is nowhere it is said that the companies cannot enjoy the fundamental rights, that rights which are available to any person. Then thirdly, the question that was, whether a corporate wheel needs to be lifted. So the contentions was that, though the contention that has been raised by the company is that, though the company or a corporation, okay, may not be a citizen under Article 19, but that should not prejudice the case. Okay, so this is what they raised. Okay, we are relying on the decision of the State Trading Corporation of India case, where it was held that a company is not a citizen. We agree with it, but that need not be a avenue, or that need not be prejudice that the something against the company can happen. And the corporation is no more than an instrument or agent appointed by the Indian shareholders. So they are mentioning the Indian shareholders because of the reason that this is the company that is formed during the British time under the legislations that was prevailing in 1913. So what they were saying is that, see, this is, they have even referred the doctrine of lifting of the wheel has been applied in the 5 categories of the cases. So this becomes very important. I'm just highlighting it, but you can see that it is unnecessary to refer to the facts of these 2 cases. That is, first is relating to the STC, that is State Trading Corporation of India, where it was held that the company is not a citizen. Then the CTO case, that is that Salomon's case, where it was held that the company is a separate legal entity. So what they said that the doctrine of lifting of corporate wheel can be applied in 5 categories of the cases. 1, where the companies are in relationship of holding and subsidiary, or where a shareholder has lost the privilege of limited liability and has become directly liable to certain creditors of the company on the ground that With his knowledge, the company continued to carry on the business 6 months after the number of its members reduced to below legal minimum. So 7 is required the minimum number for the public company. So if that is reduced and still it continue its business, then the wheel need to be lifted. Then another thing is that, you know, trading and all, there is if there is some suspicious transactions that is carried on, again that need to be considered. So they have, you know, the Grover, this is the another authority which I always say, Palmer, Grover and all, they were all the persons, you know, pioneers we can say, who are involved in this commercial subjects of commercial law. So the doctrine of wheel of the corporation, and the wheel can be lifted. So there is no doubt that this corporate wheel can be lifted. So from this case, we are going to start the lifting of corporate wheel, in other words, we can say. So they said that though we are agreeing with the view that company is not a citizen, but it should not prejudice the case, because after all, what is a company? What is a corporation? It is an instrument. They are only an instrument or agent that are acting according to the whims and fancies of the people behind it. So in this case, it is the Indian shareholders. So it should be open for the petitioner to act themselves as companies or act through their shareholders. So if you need to get the relief, either you come as a company or as a shareholder. So you cannot just act in both ways. So what does it mean? It means, or the, you know, they, so you can see again, they have referred to this State Trading Corporation and all this decision. So because that is why this case become very important. Okay, so the alleged breach of the petitioner. So in this case, they breached that fundamental rights is referable as a quasi judicial order that is made by the tribunal, which are appointed under the Sales Tax Act. So hence, the argument was that it will Article 32 cannot be applied or it cannot be invoked. Then again, they come up with the question that they are acting through the shareholders. That means the company is acting through the shareholders. So by lifting the corporate wheel, who are all the shareholders can be considered. So the true legal position, in order to know the legal character of the corporation, is to lift the corporate wheel and see who are all the persons behind it. And if we are lifting the corporate wheel and we can see that the entity, though we are recognizing the fact that it is separate from its shareholders, but we can see that the company is incorporated and it is run by the shareholders. So as a shareholders, they have got the right. So this in this another I will just come to this. See, this becomes very important. See, Palkiwala, he tried to distinguish the right of a citizen to carry on the trade and business, which is contemplated under Article 19, subclause 1, subclause G, from his right to form association or union contemplated under 19, subclause 1 and C. Okay, so this becomes very important or relevant for the reason that this is how they have twisted. So if the right of the citizen to carry on the trade or business under Article 19(1)(g) and right of a citizen to form an association or union. So if you see, the right to form association means right to form a company, is it not? Then enables the citizen to choose their instruments or agents for carrying on the business, which is, it is their fundamental right to carry on. You are getting my point? So here the argument, that is a very interesting argument, has been raised apart from the State Trading Corporation, where they just said that company is not a citizen. Here he tried to point out the distinction of these two articles, even under the 19 itself. One is to carry on the business, and another is the right to form association or unions. So here, as the shareholders, they can choose their instrument or agents. So here the company is actually the agent. Company is an agent, and they are carrying on the business because all the shareholders behind this company were the Indian citizens. So the shareholders were the Indian citizens. So if the citizens decide to set up a corporation or a company as their agent for the purpose of carrying on the trade or business, that is the right which is guaranteed to them under Article 19 subclause C. So these two rights need to be distinguished. So coming to the point, he said that we should not hesitate. That's what again, we should not hesitate to lift the wheel, because by looking at the substance of the matter, we would really be giving effect to two fundamental rights guaranteed by Article 19(1). One is freedom of form association, and another one is to carry on the trade and business. So if freedom to carry on the trade and business is available only to the citizens, okay, but at the same time the right to form association is given to citizen. So here this company is actually an agent and not otherwise. So that's how the argument has been changed. Then the fundamental right again, but however the court said that they are not impressed with this argument. The fundamental right to form an association cannot be in this matter be coupled with the fundamental right to carry on any trade and business. So even again they have referred to this case of All India Bank Employees Corporation, and they said that Article 19 contradicts, or there is a difference, that Article 19 cannot be combined as suggested. Article 19 subclause 1 subclause G and Article 19 subclause 1 subclause G. You cannot combine these articles as was suggested by Mr. Palkiwala. And again, what they said, that the writ petitions, that means the company cannot invoke this Article 32 for the violation because they are not considered as the citizens. So the argument that this is what the decision of the court, they said that the corporation is separate from the shareholders. And once the company is incorporated, then the business in which it is carried on by the company, it is not the business of the citizens. They are different. So again, they are coming to the point that there is no need to lift the corporate wheel. Of course, corporate wheel can be lifted, but when it comes to the question of citizenship, so again you can see here this asserted that this is what they say. Once the company or a corporation is formed, the business which is carried on by the said company or the corporation is the business of the company. Okay, and it is not the business of the citizens who get the company or the corporation formed. So once you incorporate a company and once the company comes into existence, then no longer there is no need to look into the citizens. So citizens have the fundamental rights, so they can invoke the Article 32 or Article 19 subclause 1 and subclause G. And of course they are not the court also has not agreed with the distinction that is made by these two rights, that is Article 19 subclause 1 subclause C and G, and said that there is no need invoking the lifting of corporate wheel. And accordingly they said that the petitions that are incompetent under Article 32, even though in each of these petitions 1 or 2 of the shareholders of the petitioning company or corporation have joined. So what happened? The company, the respondents, that is, they said that the petition has been dismissed, saying that the corporation or the company is not a citizen in the first place, and also the no fundamental rights can be enjoyed. So remember here, when I'm saying the fundamental rights, here the fundamental rights that are enshrined or that were given to the citizens. You're getting my point? Don't get it confused with other fundamental rights that are available to any person. So जो any person के लिए जो fundamental right है, उसमें तो artificial person भी आ सकता है. लेकिन ये जो 19 का जो है, 19 it mentions about the citizens. So जहां पे भी citizens का mention है, तो वहां पे कंपनी को नहीं मिलेगा, बिकॉज कंपनी इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज अ सिटीजन. सो इवन द आर्ग्यूमेंट दैट वाज फॉरवर्डेड बाय पालकीवाला, by distinguishing with freedom to form association and the freedom to trade, has not been accepted by the court in this telco, and they dismissed it, saying that there is no, corporate wheel need not be lifted. There is no need to lift the corporate wheel and see, because once it is registered, once the company is registered, it stands independent apart from its members. So as the citizens, there is not citizens, so they cannot invoke article 32. So this is what this case of Tata Engineering case signifies, that the company does not enjoy the rights that is available to the citizens, but they can enjoy. So in the coming cases we will again see that certain rights, it's not that all the rights, but those rights which any persons can enjoy can be enjoyed even by the companies. Is it clear? So now if we see that, if we just critically examine this case, what do you think? What is your opinion? What do you think, whether the company need to be recognized as citizen? Your points are welcome. What do you think? How do you critically evaluate this case? Suppose if a question is asked to critically evaluate the case of telco, because if you again refer, this case is pertaining to the year of 1964. So 1964, and the earlier case of again the State Trading Corporation is also of 1964, but now we are in 2020. Do you think that this case is having what kind of relevance? Because now we have opened up even for the globalization, liberalization, and the companies are coming in more, or they are equivalent to the citizens they are having. So what is your point, or what do you want to contribute in this? What do you think? Batao? You can share your views in this case. Suppose a case is asked, like critically evaluate. So how will you critically evaluate? सिर्फ facts और ये सब लिखने से नहीं होगा ना. You have to write, or you have to say your opinion as well. So what will be your stand in this year of 2020? Because these are the earlier cases, of course. Whether it is the basic structure of the constitution, do you think that this is the basic structure of the constitution, where the Citizenship Act cannot be changed? Tell me. Anant is there? Anant is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
बताओ, कुछ है आपका ओपिनियन? आप केस समझ में आया ना? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand?
समझ आया.
Yes.
Yes.
कुछ ओपिनियन है? दीपा, Chandan, any one of you can respond.
In this case, we are talking about the company which is treated separately from the shareholders.
Yes,
But
very
in
good.
case of companies which, like for example, sole proprietorship, these are the companies which cannot be treated separately from the proprietor. So
Yes.
in that case, can the concept which has been applied in this case be applicable?
Yes, very good. So, this is how we have to think about it. Because these are the cases, this telco case and the State Trading Corporation case has been decided in 1964, where this type of companies were not more actually involved in the day-to-day affairs. But nowadays, if you see each and every instance of abusing, because, creation of the shell companies, every chance we can see that in the pretext of the companies, lot of criminal activities are taking place. So is it not that apart from lifting of the corporate wheel, there is a need to see that they are, if of course, because ultimately the companies are the sufferers. Many times the companies will wind up, but it is the people behind it who are doing. So, this way we have to think, but anyway, from the case point of view, you have to bear in your mind that company has not yet recognized as the citizen, because citizen, the right that is fundamental rights that are available to the citizens are not available to the company. However, those rights which are not only available for the citizens or any other person, then again the companies can enjoy the same. So Tata Telco's case, the bifurcation of Article 9, freedom to form association and freedom to carry on trade, has not been recognized. But now, if you see, it is the right time that we have to think from that line, even though it is not the citizen, but freedom to carry on the trade is also not taken, but freedom to form associations. So companies are nowadays formed for what purpose? They are the agents. They are the agents. And the latest case where the shell companies has been formed by the journalist, or involving the China people who has been arrested, and of course investigation is going on. So you can see how the things are working, and the companies are used for this type of fraudulent activities. And I think who has shared that, Sumit has shared, right? So latest 2020 amendment bill. So what happened in 2013? There were criminal offenses were made, which made the certain offenses of the company criminal. And because of that, what happened? The government found that it is very difficult to move smoothly. So now they are decriminalizing those offenses which were made criminal offenses. So that is what the major chunk of 2020 amendment bill is pertaining to: decriminalize the offenses which were once made the criminal offense under the Companies Act. So I think that bill has been shared in. So just for the understanding, you can read that Companies Amendment Bill of 2020, where they also allowed for the direct listing of the securities of the Indian company which are in overseas. So now, if you see that when they are trying to decriminalize certain offenses for the default, okay, which in the objective manner where the public interest is involved, then it is the right time to see that citizenship be given, even because of course whenever there is violation, then the companies can also approach, because it will not be that only one or two shareholders who are involved in it. So for that, why the whole company should suffer? Okay, so like this, we can think from the critical perspective, and I think we'll wind up for the day. And if you have any doubts, you are welcome. And in the next class, we'll discuss the rust cases where the lifting of corporate will come. Okay, let me take your attendance.
दोस्तों, अगर आपको आज का लेसन पसंद आया हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें। इसी के साथ अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब के बटन पर क्लिक करिए और बेल आइकन दबाना ना भूलें, ताकि आपको एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड नए नए अपडेट्स मिलते रहें। और अधिक जानकारी पाने के लिए आप हमारे फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पेज से भी जुड़ सकते हैं, जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिया गया है। धन्यवाद।